Hi everyone, welcome to Challenge my YouTube channel. My name is Lillian. On here, I talk about business, finance, and life in general. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to have more time or how to create more time. I mean, time is always a factor that or a reason as to why people say, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't do the other because I haven't got enough time." But there are things that you can put in place or measure to put in place that can enable you to be able to have more time, do what you want to do, hence increase your productivity. Now, reason number one is one way of increasing your time is to work in blocks. So I'll give you a brief story. So when I was in uni and I was doing my degree to nursing, and what I used to do was if I had an assignment, I'm not one of those who leave things last minute. I can't function like that. So I always have to plan my time. So let's say an assignment was due in, let's say, April. So I start working on the assignment in Feb. What I'll do is I'll set a time that, okay, the next 3 hours I'm going to be working on the assignment, but I don't work 3 hours straight. So I'll work in blocks of 45 minutes, have 15 minutes break, have another 45 minutes, 15 minutes of break. That's how I do it. So I've transitioned that into me running my online business and juggling that with my day job. So what I'll do is if I'm going to be if it, let's say it's my sleep day, I know I'll sleep for a certain amount of hours, and then when I wake up, I know what I'm going to be doing like in the next 20 minutes. That's for me to get myself together. I'll have a shower, have something to eat, and then I will work for the next 2 hours straight or an hour straight, depending on what I'm doing. So I work in blocks. It was the same thing that I will do on my day off. I will work in blocks. I've decided that I'm going to be working for the next, 6, 8 hours, but I'm going to be working blocks of 2 hours. That way, you're working a lot better because then you're not tired. I find myself not tired because I know I've got 2 hours to send out emails. I've got 2 hours to speak to suppliers. I've got 2 hours to work on this product, speak to who I need to speak to, with whoever I need to liaise with, and I'm dedicating that time to work on those things. So I work in blocks. When I do that, I find that myself that I'm working a lot better and I don't feel like I haven't got enough time to do what I need to do. So I set what I need to do for that day and then just work in blocks. So that's one way of you managing your time or increasing your time essentially. Point number two is prioritize your tasks. So let's say you've got to speak to your supplier because there might be you want to your due date is you know that in the next 3 weeks we're going to be running out of products. Then why would I be speaking to my accountant about something I'm not sure of? So my priority will be to speak to the supplier, send them an email, or liaise a call to speak to them and see how I'm going to be able to, replenish my inventory. So that's how I work. So you have to prioritize your work. If you don't prioritize your work, you're going to find that you're working on the important things that are not urgent, but you need to be working on the urgent things that are also important. In fact, there is a box where you have to that helps you prioritize your work, where you're working on urgent things that are important, and then you know what is urgent but not important, and that way you're working yourself throughout that box. I'll do that box for you and put it in the video when I do the editing. So it helps you to figure out what task is important to you, so you're working in order of priority and working your way down. Because if you don't prioritize your task, you're going to find that the things that are urgent and important are in the back burner. You have to work on those things first and then work your way down. Again, it's another skill that I take from me being a nurse, where you have to prioritize your unwell patients and your well patients and work your way through, and that way you're able to manage your patient a lot better. It's the same way, so it's the same principle that applies in me being able to run my online business or to prioritize the things that are going to be helpful in my life. and make me be a better person financially, socially, and economically as well. Point number three is learn to say no. Sometimes we take on tasks that we know we do want to take on, or they can be done in the near future. But we always, when somebody asks for you to do that task, you take it on. You have to learn to say no. If it does not meet with your, doesn't match up with your priorities or what your goals are, you have to learn to say no. I know it's going to be hard for some people, but in my instance, I've never had any issue at all in saying no to things that I know are not going to be beneficial or not going to improve on my life. So I easily say no without having to think about it, because if I know it's not going to help me be a better person and it's just going to be wasting my time, there's not two ways around it. I just straight away say no. And that is one thing that we need to take on board, learn to say no. So point number four is cut down TV and Netflix or whatever. It might be Amazon Prime or Sky, whatever programs you've got. um, I'm not saying it's bad to watch telly, but you need to prioritize your work. Is it important for you to spend 3, 4 hours watching telly? Is it beneficial telly that you're actually watching, or is it a case of, okay, let me watch this crime show, or let me watch this documentary about, food or whatever program it may be. So you just have to cut down on that because it's the biggest consumer of our time that's not even beneficial to us. Well, to me. So you have to understand, is you watching your telly watching telly for 5, 6 hours really a good way of managing your time? Chances are it's not. So you just have to cut down, and you find that you don't have to, do it all at once. You gradually cut it down, because I find that's how I had to do. So that's how to cut down my TV and my TV time by gradually reducing it. Instead of me watching telly for 5 hours, I'll do it for 4 hours, 3 hours. That way, I was just gradually bringing it down, as opposed to just putting black eye to out telly, because you can't function like that. Well, I can't. I've got to be able to have a break from working online or working from my job and watch something, see what's going on in the world, read the news. I mean, you can read the news from your phone, but sometimes reading the news watching the news, it's a lot different than you reading the news. So yeah, you can do that. So cut down on your TV time. Point number five is plan your day in advance. I can't stress this enough. Plan, plan, and plan. So what things are you meant to be doing for that week? I have got a journal, but it's annual journal. So basically, what I've done is I've created a journal where it's split up into 4 quarters. So January, February, and March, and then April, May, June. So I'm planning things that I need to do quarterly, as you would do for your. I mean, these 4 quarters. I took that from running an online business, where they say quarter 4 is where people make most money, because that involves Christmas, New Year's, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So businesses make a lot of money. So it's that business idea that I put into the journal, and that's how I plan my year. So what I'll do is, I'll plan what I need to do for those 3 months, break it down into monthly basis, continue to break it down further into weekly basis. So I know what I'm doing for that week. I know what I'll be doing for that day. So I write it down. And if it's not going to be in my journal or in my diary, chances are it's not going to be done. So I always plan what I need to be doing in advance. That way I'm able to make up more time. For instance, I might be doing something that I know, if I don't plan for it, it's not going to done. But I know it's very urgent for me, it's important to me. So I don't trust my brain here, because I know I'm bound to forget. So I always write it down, and then that way I'm able to go ahead and work on that task. So again, plan your work in advance. You find that you work a lot better, and that increases your productivity massively. Point number 6 is do the hardest task first. Now, for me, editing videos, I find that really challenging. I find it very time consuming. So if it's a day of me editing my videos, it's going to be on my number one priority. So you'll be on that task on there that today is video editing, and I'll dedicate time to edit that video or videos that I'll be doing that I would have filmed or recorded previously. So once I've done that, I then, like I said, prioritize my work. I then work through my tasks. So I find that once I've done the hardest thing, everything else I just cruise through, and I find it so much easier. Try it. You might find that it works so better for you when you find that you do the hardest task first, and then the rest just have to you kind of like find it easier working through the rest of the other tasks. For instance, if I've got to do my video editing and I've got to send an email to somebody, or I need to look onto Amazon and see what I need to tweak in regards to my Amazon campaign, or if I need to put an advert out on other social media platforms, I find that it's so much easier for me to do it that way as opposed to doing everything else and then left with editing. That's when the procrastination comes in, like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it later. And before you know it, that's all gone and it's not been done. So I find that when I do that, I'm managing my time a lot better, and I find that I'm creating more time to do other things as well. So point number 7 is don't be busy just to be busy. You know, when I talked about planning your work in advance, sometimes some of these tasks can maybe on your list, but actually you can do them without having them being on your list. So it becomes like, I don't want to be like a tick box exercise where, oh yeah, meditated for half an hour. You know you're meant to meditate. You're meant to be reading, because I read every day. So why would I have to put that onto my task? So it looks like as though I'm just wasting my time, and I just don't want to be putting tasks on my on my work plan when I know they don't need to be there. It looks like as though I'm being busy, but actually I'm not being busy at all. So it's figuring out that whatever tasks is on my to-do list actually needs to be on there. It's not just a case of just writing on things that I will be doing anyway without thinking, because they're part of my daily habits, and I just put them on my list. So no, it doesn't work for me. So I just don't be busy because I want to be busy. No, it doesn't work for me. And then point number 8 is focus on one task at a time. I can't stress this enough again, because you find that when you work in blocks, you're working at that particular task. I am not going to be working on that task at the same time emailing my accountant or speaking to a supplier or speaking to a service provider. If I am working on that, I am working on that. I do not mix things. So that time is blocked out for me to do that particular task. Once that's all done, then I move on to the next task. And that way I feel like I'm managing my time a lot better, and I feel like I create more time doing that, so I'm able to do other things or chill out or have a drink. And a drink, I mean like a soft drink, because I don't drink any alcohol. So yeah, so it's being able to figure out things that you need to be doing in that task. And then point number 9 is reduce your social media time. So I don't know about you, but when I go onto TikTok, I find it very, very addictive. Before you know it, you'll be like, I'll be there for 15 minutes. Before you know it, an hour is gone. I'm not saying social media is bad. I mean, I find it very, find some ideas on there. I like fashion, so I go on there and see what people are wearing, what's in trend, how people styling certain things. So that sort of thing. But yeah, so I've set time for my social media consumption. I know it sounds weird, but I find that I create more time to do other things that are going to be fruitful and are going to be more productive, are going to help me in so many ways. So you have to find a way of cutting on your social media time. Sometimes, not sometimes, when I'm working on tasks, I always put my phone in airplane mode. That way I don't have things coming in, having that notification coming through from Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, whatever the case may be. I don't have any of that when I'm working. So you have to cut down on social media time, because if you don't do that, you find yourself spending more time on social media. I'll tell you a story. So I got a new job, and in regards to phone, they're extremely strict. It's a high security area where I work, so we can't have our phones on us at all. So you got to leave your phone in the car or you leave it at home. And the first day of me being there, and you would not convince me that I am addicted to social media, addicted to my phone. But my first day, I was proper withdrawing from my phone. And my second day, so I had to go on my break time, switch my phone on to actually see what's going off. That's how much I was so addicted to my phone. But now I'm gradually getting better. I didn't honestly, if I had betted on that, I would have lost that bet, because social media is so addictive, and you have to cut down on social media time so that you're more productive and create more time to do the things that are productive. And lastly, point number 10 is set reminders on your smartphone. We all have smartphones. We can always use our smartphones for pretty much everything. But I find that if I don't, sometimes I have to set reminders in my phone to help me, remind me if I've got like a meeting coming up, or if I've got, that it could be a network thing that I need to be a part of. And if I don't put it down in my diary and I don't put that down as a reminder on my phone, I'll be honest with you, I'm bound to forget. So my phone is full of reminders what I need to be doing on that particular day, in that particular time, who I need to speak to get things rolling, and all of that. So yeah, thank you for watching. And like I always say, visualize your higher self, be the change that you want to see, and see you again next time. Thank you. Bye.